Sancho Panza was made governor of an imaginary island called Barataria by the Duke and Duchess that he and Don Quixote met in Chapter 8 of Book 2. Sancho was an illiterate peasant who accompanied Don Quixote as his squire on the many adventures described throughout the novel. He was often seen as an incompetent clown. Sancho's governorship only lasted 7 days, but during that time he made several decisions that tell us a lot about his leadership skills. And these skills were not necessarily bad. This all started after Don Quixote and Sancho Panza left the inn where Don Quixote destroyed Master Peter's puppet show. They wandered into a green meadow where Quixote saw a huntress in a hawking party and sent Sancho to deliver a greeting. She identified herself as a duchess and recognized Sancho from having read the first book. She and her husband invited them into their home, where they played many practical jokes at their guests' expense, including granting Sancho's governorship. Once governor, Sancho found himself as judge to decide important cases which test his governing skills. Sancho's first trial between a farmer and a tailor begins on page 430. The farmer took a piece of cloth to the tailor and asked how many hats could be made with it. The tailor agreed to make 5 hats out of the cloth, but instead of full-size hats, he made hats that fit on fingertips. The farmer refused to pay and requested the extra cloth back, but the tailor claimed that he had used it all. Sancho decided that the farmer would lose his cloth, the tailor would not be paid, and the tiny hats would go to prisoners. The bystanders at the trial laughed at the absurd sentence. At this point, nobody took Sancho seriously, but we see that Sancho was trying to be Don Quixote's ideal governor. Sancho was advised to be compassionate and give to the poor, which is where he got the idea of giving tiny caps to the needy, even though they were completely useless. Next, Sancho heard the case of 2 old men. One old man lent another 10 gold crowns. A long time passed, and the lender eventually asked for the money back. The borrower denied ever having received the loan, and said if he had, he already repaid it. The lender denied receiving repayment, and asked Sancho to put the borrower under oath. The borrower handed the lender his staff, gave the oath, and took it back. As he walked off, Sancho realized the trick. The 10 gold crowns were in the staff. He asked for the staff, had it split open, and recovered the crowns. Afterwards, all the spectators were amazed and considered their new governor a second Solomon. Sancho showed extraordinary wisdom, which elevated his status among the people. Another wise judgment occurred when a man won a lot of money at a gaming house where it is customary to tip. He didn't tip and was accosted by a bystander who claimed that he was entitled to money for keeping the game fair. A brawl ensued, but Sancho intervened and heard their case. Sancho ordered the winner to tip, but did not believe the bystander's claim that he could not work a trade because his parents didn't teach him one. This claim, in fact, upset Sancho because he believed the man to be lazy and a drain on society, so Sancho banished him from his island. This was good governing because he was protecting the village from freeloaders. Later, a teenage girl dressed in boys' clothing was brought before Sancho. The culture did not look kindly on such dress, and she was told to explain herself. She told Sancho a sad tale of being locked inside by her father and her longing to experience the world, which led her to change clothing with her brother and go outside into the village. Her brother, dressed in his sister's clothing, verified the tale. Sancho had them escorted home and admonished the girl to stay home, saying, "The modest maid stays at home as if she'd a broken leg, and 'tis roaming that ruins the hen and the maid, and she who longs to see also longs to be seen." While the proverbs are strung together until they become nonsense, Sancho was compassionate and didn't overreact. He didn't even wake up their father. Here he shows discernment between serious cases and harmless ones. Sancho was a good governor in the sense of making wise judgments. His governing fell short when forced to face an imaginary enemy. Rather than fighting, he fell over. While his subjects supported him as victor, he simply packed his bags and left. He acknowledged that he could make judgments, but was unsuited to lead in battle. Even in this, he showed successful leadership. He mentioned multiple times, "Naked I came into this governorship, and naked I leave." He made it clear that he wanted to gain nothing from this position, which was contrary to common practice in his day. This is an excellent character quality for a leader. Consider the dictators in Africa today who siphon aid money into their personal bank accounts. And in the United States, our presidents receive salaries after they leave office and use their position to charge outrageous speaking fees. Compared to many politicians today, Sancho was a great governor.